So let's move on to the next question, guys. In this question, we are given that there is a box which contains a total of 10 bulbs, right? Fewer than half of which are defective. That means out of the 10 bulbs, less than half of them are defective, right? And we are also told that we draw two bulbs simultaneously, and the probability that both the bulbs are defective is 1 upon 15, right? Let's suppose n bulbs are defective, so we have to compare n and 3. So firstly, tell me one thing. Total bulbs are how many? Total bulbs is equals to 10, right? And we know that fewer than half of them are defective. So what does fewer of half of them? Fewer of half of them means uh, like either 4 are defective, 3 are defective, 2 are defective, 1 is defective, or there is no defective bulb in the entire lot, right? So there are total of 10 bulbs, fewer of half of them. What is half? Half is 5. So less than 5 of them are defective, right? So less than 5 means either 4 bulbs are defective, or 3 bulbs, or 2, or 1, or 0. We don't know. All these are possible options, right? Now we know that the probability, now we draw two bulbs, right? We draw two bulbs from the entire set, and the probability that both the bulbs are defective comes out to be 1 upon 15, right? So tell me one thing, if there are 0 defective bulbs, so probability of drawing a defective bulb will be 0, right? If all the bulbs are good, then what will be the probability of drawing a bulb and the bulb is defective? Obviously 0, right? But we know that the probability of both the bulbs is 1 upon 15, which means it is not 0, right? So obviously this case is not possible, right? Now tell me one thing, if there is one defective bulb, right? And so that means there is one defective bulb and 9 bulbs are good. So if we draw two bulbs, what will be the probability in that case? The probability will be 0, right? Because we know the probability that both are defective, that is 1 upon 15. But in this case, only one bulb is defective, right? So even this is not possible, because we are saying two bulbs are defective at least, that ways, right? So even this case is not possible. I hope this makes sense. Now let's solve for this. Let's suppose there are 4 defective bulbs, right? So probability that both are defective. So we draw one bulb, that comes out to be defective. So right now we are taking this case. Right now we are taking the 4 case, right? Where 4 bulbs are defective. So tell me one thing, if both are defective, we draw one bulb, it comes out to be defective, right? So what is that probability? That probability is 4 upon 10, right? Because 4 bulbs are defective and total bulbs are 10. So if we draw a bulb, the probability of defective is 4 upon 10, right? Into. Now we draw one more bulb, because we are drawing two bulbs, right? So now we draw one more bulb. So how many bulbs will be left in the entire set? There will be 9 bulbs left, because initially we drew one bulb and we put it aside, right? So 9 bulbs are left. So, and how many defective bulbs are left? Earlier there were 4 defective bulbs. We took out one, we keep it aside. So now there are 3 defective bulbs left, right? So this becomes 3 upon 9. I hope this makes sense, right? So this is for the fourth, when there are 4 defective bulbs. Now tell me, when there are 3 defective bulbs, so what will be the probability when there are 3 defective bulbs? When there are 3 defective bulbs, we draw one bulb. What will be the probability that the first is defective? It will be 3 upon 10. Because total bulbs are 10, 3 are defective. So the probability that the first bulb will be defective will be 3 upon 10, right? Similarly, tell me one thing. After we have drawn one bulb, there are 9 bulbs left, right? So there are 9 bulbs left. And initially there were 3 defective bulbs. So now there will be 2 defective bulbs, right? Because we have drawn one, right? And similarly, when there are two defective bulbs, so the probability will be what? 2 upon 10 into 1 upon 9. Again, I'm explaining this in very detail. In the exam, you can just do it within a few seconds. You just have to think it in mind and you'll be able to solve it, right? So now if you solve these parts, what do you get? 3 3 is a 9, 2 upon 15, right? 2 upon 15. If you solve this, you get 1 upon 15. And if you solve this, you get 1 upon 45. I hope this should be absolutely clear, right? But tell me one thing, we are given that the probability that both are defective is 1 upon 15, right? So it matches this. So that means, what was this case? This case was 3. So that means there are 3 defective bulbs, right? Because the probability is 1 upon 15. In which case? In the case when there are 3 defective bulbs, right? If you see, this was the case, right? So when there are 3 defective bulbs, the probability is 1 upon 15, and we are given in the question that the probability is 1 upon 15. That means the number of bulbs which are defective is 3. So that means the value of n is 3. So the value of n is 3. That means your final answer becomes what? Your final answer becomes C. I hope this should be absolutely clear.